Alright then, welcome back to this What If. This is What If Deku was a part of the Shimada family. Now, I'm going to give it a little context before I get into everything else, like the intro. But if you don't know what the Shimada family is, it's the same family from Overwatch with Genji and Hanzo, and as such, he'll be trained by Genji and Hanzo. So, yeah. So now I will... Actually, yeah, now I'm going to roll the intros. Yeah, new style of doing things. I'm just gonna do this. So this is my. I'm just gonna voice over my fucking stream I do, like for fucking shit. But yeah. Now, how should I start this? Deku was born into the Shimada family. Like, I'm not gonna explain how. Wait, it's a crime organ. Yeah, he's just born into. No, actually, no. Fuck that. He's an orphan. Actually, not just any Well, yeah, just an orphan. Fuck it. And as you know, like, actually, yeah, he's quirk. No, he has a quirk, but I'm not sure what it's gonna be called yet. So I'm gonna just leave that to imagination, or until I can fucking think of it. So as such, he's brought in by Hanzo, because remember Hanzo's like 40, and Genji, I'm gonna say they made up actually after, because remember Hanzo was told to kill Genji. Like, in the lore, basically, Hanzo was told to kill Genji. But I'm gonna say these two made up, even though, after your brother tries to kill you, wouldn't make up. But luckily, like, I'm gonna say these two had it over a bottle, a glass, or a bottle of sake, whichever one you prefer. So, after these two made up, they both realized that A, Genji can't have a fucking kid because he's a robot now, and B, Hanzo is like 40 years old and doesn't have a wife, so they do what any logical adult. Well, they both do what any logical adult would do: go to a fucking orphanage. I mean, he could have went out and found a wife, but at the same time, once you say you're part of the Shimada family, that's kind of room for being scared, even though they're not a crime organization anymore. But because that's what they're mostly known for. So, I'm gonna say they find this kid named, Deku. I mean, he doesn't have a name, so they just call him, mixture of Hanzo and Genji. I don't know what they call him, actually. Hanji. Hanji. Actually, yeah, that'll work, Hanji. Because they weren't unoriginal, like, they just, like, said, like, fuck it, we'll just name him Hanji. Because, mix of Genji and Hanzo, so they said Hanji. And no, Hanji or Genzo? Hanji, why not? Just to make it easier. And I like how I said, like, Hanzo, and now now I'm playing Hanzo in fucking Overwatch. But, yeah, they decided on the name, like, I'm not even gonna say it again, because it's honestly bugging me now that I'm saying it too much. So, as such, they decide to raise the kid. Yes, just them two. I know, it kind of sounds gay, and I know it's opening up the door for a lot of fucking gay jokes. But hear me out here, they're brothers. You nasty fucks. But anyway, because these two decided to raise Deku, they teach him many things. Well, Hanzo teaches him a bow because, he's not as young as he used to be. So he can't really teach him, like, the swordsmanship that Genji has. So, sorry, I had to yawn. It's like 3 in the morning. But Deku gets a mixture of both. Deku gets a mixture of both, like training styles. He keeps both of them, but you know what I mean, right? He has a sword and he has, like, a bow basically. So he grew up around Genji and Hanzo, which is very strict because you got two of the strongest people in Japan, plus an Overwatch and Talon, and I don't know where the fuck else. And no, I'm not including any other Overwatch fucking characters, because if I do, the world is pretty much in chaos. And due to that, I'm gonna say Genji still can't, like, Genji became a robot on the same principles he had to survive, because once your brother hits you with a twin dragon or whatever the hell it's called, you basically will not survive that shit. Like how I hit people with that shit in this fucking game. But anyway, after which, this goes on for like until the age of 14. And yes, I know that's a hell of a time skip where pretty much nothing much happens. They aren't really a crime family. They aren't a crime family anymore. So Deku can't go out and just like assassinate people. He like legit. He goes out in the public and all that, and it's known with the Shimada family. He even has the crest on his shoulder, and people are scared of him, and he knows why. But the family works the opposite way. They're actually helping the community more, and most of them are heroes. Hanzo is a hero, though he doesn't do much. Genji is out in the field a lot, honestly, because once you not really afraid of being hurt because you're a robot, you can't really. I mean, you're really used to the field. So these two go out. I mean, Genji doesn't go out, as I said, Hanzo doesn't go out much, but still, they're very much well known in the world of heroes as the villains who turned into heroes. So that happens. So like, the view on the Shimada family changes, like, to an extent. But some shit isn't always perfect. So now it's the time to get to age 14. So after 14 years of training under Hanzo and Genji, which still isn't a fucking enough, Deku decides, all three of them decide that it's best for Deku to take the hero exam, including Deku, because, he gets a fucking decision. So, as that being said, they decide that, no, they did not talk to Nezu, he does not get a fucking internship. Because, whenever it makes sense, I'll do it, but they still have to work for trust in Japan, honestly. So, So I'm gonna say Deku's been actually no, Deku goes to school. He goes to the same school as Bakugo, but Bakugo knows of the Shimada family, so he he doesn't mess around with Deku, basically, is what I'm trying to get at. And for Deku's quirk, I don't fucking know. So I'm gonna do it like this. Because Genji and Hanzo don't really have quirks, but they have their ancestral dragons. Deku has his own, but he mixes it into three, with his sword and with his bow. So he has all the techniques of those two, plus the three I'm gonna say the three dragons. So that's pretty much his quirk. They call it three dragons, but it's not really his quirk. It's more like something he does. And for you saying anything, matter of fact, no, fuck that. I'm gonna give this nigga something like fuck. Actually, yeah, fuck it. That's it. I can't even. Here's the thing. I can't think of a quirk to give him. Like, I know what I'm saying. Like, oh, why don't you just give him all for what? I mean, one for all. And it's like, one for all isn't really going to do much in the situation. Because all it is just going to enable Deku to swing his sword with a lot more force. And yes, this is play of the game. And it's not really interesting. So don't give it any mind. But it doesn't. Like, the only matter of fact. Fuck me. I actually got a good idea. This is probably the first story out of all of them he gets one for all. And yes, I know I went against my word saying like I barely any of them unless it makes sense. It's one for all, but this one you can argue it does. The fuck? Who just came stumbling down the stairs? So for this one, oof. For this one, why did I play that twice? For for this one, he gets one for all, and it's through the same means as it is in canon. Besides the fact that Deku it's the same thing as like Deku in canon. Like he wasn't paying attention and went through a tunnel to get home. You know the story. I hope you do or remember it. Deku, but if you don't, I'm gonna explain it. Deku on his way home, instead of climbing climbing up 2-story buildings, because yes, they can climb up 2 and 3 stories, which is weird. But we're not gonna talk about it. And double jump. And Genji can jump in, like, air double jump, which is weird. Hanzo can too. But I'm not going to get into it because it's actually weirding me out now. Because it makes no sense. Yeah, they defy physics. I mean, Genji is understandable, but Hanzo, not really. But I digress. So on his way home, due to his, not paying attention to his surroundings, I'm gonna say the sledge villain says "Hey kid, let me borrow your body." See, that's why I hate voice thing, because it will dry out my voice faster than doing a tongue twister. Give me a second. All right, I'm back. After a little bit of discussion with what the fuck the video in the background on. After I discovered that 720 is garbage on here for surprisingly, and that auto is better, I decided to keep it on auto. But I'm gonna continue. After basically the sledge villain basically says, "Hey kid, let me get your body," Deku gets out of his whole thing and thinking, because I don't know what the hell he's thinking about. Probably about how Genji and Hanzo are probably gonna kill him for being not for being late, but actually for him being late for training. But he gets caught lacking by the sledge villain, and the sledge villain basically, does as I said, swoops him up like Sweetie Swooty, him in that body. I can't believe I said that, but yeah, that happens, and the same thing goes with canon. I am here, yada yada, whoosh. And Deku he knows of All Might and actually respects him as a hero, so he'd ask for an autograph. And All Might would see the Shimada crest on Deku's on his shoulder and on his notebook, and say, "Hey kid, you're part of the Shimada clan, aren't you?" Deku says, "Yeah." He's out, and All Might basically asks him, "Isn't that the same clan as the two heroes? What's their names? Genji and Hanzo?" And Deku says, "Oh yeah, they're my uncles, basically." And to that, All Might responds, "Uncles?" And Deku says, "Yeah, something like that." Well, I was it's hard to explain. Basically, that's what Deku says. Well, it's a long story, but I'm a part of the family because of them. I'm Hanji. And All Might looks puts it together because of the name. He's like, oh, I fucking get it. He doesn't say that. He says it in this smile like, I fucking get it. And basically he gives that look to Deku like, yeah, I get what you were trying to say. But, yeah, after that, the only thing that wouldn't, like, Deku would give him an autograph, all my, like, wouldn't think about giving him one for off the moment because he's like, I don't know, because he's, like, Genji, like, because of Genji and Hanzo and their clan's history. So he's kind of, like, thinking about that, judging a book by its cover. Well, not a book by its cover, but a book by the older one, by the past ones, from the author. And yes, I did just change that around to make sense. So, as such, the same thing would happen. The only thing that would change in canon is that instead of Deku hopping on All Might's back and going for a ride, that's kind of fucking gay, I'm not gonna lie, I can't believe I said that. He continues walking home until a familiar voice, well, not really familiar because he doesn't give a fuck about Bakugo, but still, a familiar voice pops out, and it's Bakugo. Now, mind you, Deku doesn't have his bow and stuff on him, but he does have one thing. Remember the kunai show? Ah, fuck. I don't want to pause it. Ah, fuck. Move. Remember the little dagger I showed in the beginning? He always carries that on him. Now, mind you, that's specially made for him. That was by Genji and Hanzo, just in case, because you can't carry a fucking bow and sword around. Because, that's fucking illegal. So, he has that, basically, in his bag. And don't ask me how he hides it, I don't know. He's a fucking ninja. He's, you know what I'm trying to get at. So, he sees the Sludge villain on Bakugo, and because he sees that none of the other pro heroes are doing anything, he questions that. Then something pushes him to help Bakugo. And he basically does, and while doing that, yeah, I was an idiot here, I forgot where the fuck I was. But he basically, and yes, before you say anything, this is a little rant. Yes, this is actually me looking at the past footage and, basically scouting my fucking mistakes. Because, yes, there is a ranked in this, and I don't do ranked on my fucking videos. Because if I do, I'm going to go sweat hard for no reason. And yes, this was me playing, regular me, just play. At this point, I was listening to music, so... So yeah. Damn, wait, am I already halfway through this shit? Oh my fucking gosh. Yeah, this shit's gonna be hard to do. I'm gonna make it through somehow. So, with that, remember the little kunai I showed in the beginning? He basically gathers up the energy that, how Genji and Hanzo have to do theirs. He does a little thing he do, and then he throws it. Instead of 1 or 2 dragon comes out, it's 3. But there one, you know how it was, 2 are, his isn't blue or green. His is, actually, I'm lying, his is a mixture of both. So, give me a sec because, I'm an idiot. So, let me pause this and pause that. Well, yeah, I hate my phone because I didn't say for the video to continue. But, I'm not an art major, so... The color, it looks like the three dragon... tongue twister. The 3 dragon color is cyan. If you don't know what it is, it's basically a very light blue color. And upon seeing it, the Sludge villain doesn't know what to do. And honestly, I don't know. But it's basically I'm gonna say because Genji and Hanzo do it. It targets the people. basically has a tracker, basically, and not like not a tracker, but you know what I'm trying to get to. Like it can hit the people it wants to hit, or Deku wants it to hit, and the people he doesn't want it to hit, it doesn't hit. So as such, this dragon basically goes through, and it doesn't kill the sludge villain as much as it should. Like Deku, like the three dragons hit the sludge villain and forced off of Bakugo and putting the sludge villain into a wall, flattening his ass. And that's and with that, All Might basically shows her like, I am here, and puts this nigga into a bottle. The same bottle that now that All Might isn't a fucking idiot and wasn't thinking about it and was thinking about it. He made sure the top was screwed on tightly. Like this dude screwed the top on like it was it was a pickle jar. So, oh yeah, I don't know why I chose to use Sombra for that quick second. So if you guys are confused, like, oh, like why is Sombra on the screen? I don't know what came over me. I just decided to use Sombra, but yeah. With that being said, what was I? All Might seem what Hanji did, or Deku, because, yeah, I'm not about to say Hanji the whole entire fucking time. And he wants to meet Deku, yeah, I was about to say Hanji after that. Deku. And I'm gonna say, and when Deku goes up to pick up the kunai, the kunai, All Might basically walks over to him and basically says, hey kid, I want you to meet me at Dokaba Beach. Or Dakoba Beach. I forget how to say it, but it's between the two. After all this. So, after Deku basically helps up Bakugo, and Bakugo, still prideful as hell, but he actually respects the fact that Deku saved him, and he knows he owes Deku one. And these two don't, hate each other at all. It's just more of a respect thing between the two. Like, Bakugo doesn't get in Deku's way, and Deku doesn't get in Bakugo's way. These two haven't fought. And the only reason why Deku hasn't been in any fights at school is because no one wants to fight Deku. Because, mind you, as a kid, you'd be like, alright, I'm gonna fight Deku. But once you see Genji roll up and Hanzo, you don't want to fight that nigga. Like, you honestly don't want nothing to do with Deku. Because, mind you, Hanzo has no fear of showing off that tattoo. And Deku has the tattoos as well, just his is 2. No, his is 3. Because, he has 3 dragons. Genji has 2. Genji has 1. Hanzo has 2. So, Deku has 3 tattoos. 3 dragons on him. Instead of, the regular 2 or 1. Sure, he had to yawn again. But, yeah. And before you ask, yes, 2 are on his arms and 1's on his back. No, they do not have names, because I don't want to name them. But, now, let's continue. Now, with that being said, I want to check how long I got left in this clip. Oh, fuck. 1 second. Alright, I came in clutch for myself. But, anyway, that being said, I forgot where I left off for a second, because, I'm kind of stupid. So, yeah. I'm gonna roll to the Dakoba Beach part, because, it makes sense. So, upon letting Genji and Hanzo know, yeah, I was in contact with All Might, and he wanted me to meet him at the beach. Genji and Hanzo know that All Might isn't in the shady shit, because, they used to be in the shady shit, so they know when someone's doing some shady shit. I don't know how I avoided that, but I'm not gonna talk about it. But as I said, after he goes to meet All Might, and Genji and Hanzo don't follow. Genji or Hanzo don't follow. Actually, no. These two follow, but Deku, because Deku isn't as adept to being stealthy as them, he doesn't notice. So when he gets to Deku Beach and meets All Might, he's greeted with All Might in Small Might form, which really surprises Deku. Like in canon, he's like, "Huh? Who is he?" And All Might explains, like, "Yeah, it's me, All Might." Who the fuck are you? No, who are you? Get off my screen. Random ass person sent me a friend request. Trying to get some fucking. I don't know. I don't know who. I'm looking for shit. But, yeah. After that, the same thing happens in canon where All Might says, "Oh my fuck." Alright, I'm back after a mess up because I pressed the power button instead of the volume button. So, All Might hits him with the classic line, eat this hair. I mean, he explains one for all, and Deku's listening. Genji and Hanzo are also listening in, and they're like, "Oh, okay. So this really wasn't shady, so like, we carried on for no reason." And then when he, and then when All Might, gets the line, "Eat this," they basically say, "Hold on, wait, what?" And go around the corner and they see a hair. Now, mind you, they're getting paranoid about it, and even Deku was like, "Why do I need your hair?" He says, "Oh, because this quirk passes on through, like, to another, it's through some sort of thing like hair or like something else. There's a lot of ways to pass it on, but hair is the most logical way." And upon hearing this, Deku basically says, "Alright." And now Deku has one for all. He still has to train with it, but not as much as he did in canon. And as such, I'm gonna say, because All Might basically sees that he's worked out and he's part of the Shimada clan. He knows that all he has to do is really teach Deku how to use it, not to train him up to use it. So as such, All Might does that for 10 months before he goes, to UA. Oh. And by the way, before I say anything, there's this, before I just pull it out my ass, Genji has a sword in the works for Deku. Like the short sword that he has on his back that he constantly uses. He's making one of those for Deku, and he's not making him a long katana yet, because there's no need for it. And yes, this game I was shitting on them so bad that I actually started to meditate mid-match. But, yeah. I'm gonna continue, because I might just fucking... I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna do this one, that I'm probably not gonna do the second one I was gonna do. And probably save the second one for the morning. But, yeah. So for the 10 months, it's mainly Deku, training his body at the Shimada clan, because, Genji and they see after that, he sees Genji. Matter of fact, yeah, after that whole scene when he's leaving, Genji and he's met by Genji and Hanzo at the house, drinking, tea, and saying, "So, Hanji, you have a one for all now." And Deku by hearing this says, "How the fuck do?" And how do you got? And then he was like, "Oh, yeah, I forgot. You guys are good at stealth." He says, "Yeah. What do you think? We're pretty much ninjas." But hard. Okay. So upon that, they say, "We heard the whole explanation of one for all, so don't think you're so for right now your training will be the same, except you'll get more muscle training." And no, you're not bulking up because that's a stupid gimmick. We're just gonna have your body more in line with with that quirk of yours. Plus the plus your technique is the strongest with the three dragons, just not perfected. Plus you use the we seen how you use the knife instead of like the bow or sword for it. That's creative, but at the same time, it lacks the power. Though it does have a lot of speed to it. But yeah, for the next 10 months, it's Deku will go to Deku Beast to learn how to control a power with All Might, and he trained with Genji and Hanzo, like on the same principles. And yes, like Genji actually does make a compound bow for Deku and like arrows to where he can fire it. And Genji gives him a short sword, basically, that he's able to put in his bag instead of the knife. He still carries around like the kunai with him, but not as much as he carries around those two. With that being said, this is the end of the 10-month period, with Deku now going to 1A. And no, for anything, ah, blah, blah. Before you say anything, no, he does not really throw no like Detroit smashes or any of that. He tells All Might like, yeah, I've never been like much of a physical hand-to-hand fighter. Though I do have one, though he does show him like ways he can release it. Remember how if you watch Bleach and like Black Clover, how Yami uses his sword? He does it like stuff like that, like does slashes and things. So he basically tells All Might he's doing it a different way. And as such, like, that's the end of the 10-month period. Now, for anything, no, he doesn't. He doesn't know how to use full. He doesn't full cow because there's no point. But he does, however, know that he can put it into his legs and it'll help him move around a lot faster. Because he's not a fucking idiot. Because Genji and Hanzo would tell him like, yeah, you can spread that throughout your body and you can more likely put it in your legs and arms. Just don't put it all in, like All Might told you not to, otherwise you'll break your shit. So after that, the 10-month period like flies by and he's at 1A. Now, before you say anything, yes, he did actually tell the people, the Genji, Hanzo, and All Might basically told the staff that yes, he is carrying these tools, so he's allowed in with them because that's the only way to manifest his quirk the right way. So upon hearing that, they're like okay and allow it because even Naval Laser did that. Like you basically have to let them know like yeah these like they're tools to help him amplify his quirk. To use his quirk the right way, and you can use them. So now examination time. Now, upon entering he basically walks to school, but he still practices like controlling one for all. So he's just like putting it in his feet and displacing it with each step, and basically having it run a current through his legs, basically. And he does that all the way to school until he runs into a certain someone basically speed running. I said speed running. Basically running to school. Actually, yeah, I like how I'm gonna do this one because I actually think, as much as weird as it is, it's an old custom. Like a very old custom. And I doubt, if I do this the right way, it'll work when it comes to ships. It ended, didn't it? Hopefully it just plays into the next one. Wrong fucking clip, damn it. Wait, is it? I'm pretty sure it is. Pretty sure. Yep, wrong clip. My bad. Give me a second. What the fuck? Wait. What the fuck? Yo, I'm not gonna lie. I thought that shit corrupted for a second. I was about to be pissed. Cause like I remember I pretty much streamed this for like 2 hours just so I can get enough content for 2 videos. And the COD shit was just extra just in case, but I didn't want to put that up. So my bad for the little COD stuff being put out there. Like that's a mistake on my part because this was acting weird. Like you know how, like I'm gonna explain it. The clip basically went to 54 minutes instead of doing what it was supposed to and go below 54. So instead of it basically saying like okay, like I'm gonna restart the clip, it played the whole clip, and then it played the whole stream, and didn't like allow me to bring it to 0. It just went to the next one. But yeah, I'm kidding. He meets a certain person rushing, and we all know the person. I said Mr. Oh my fucking gosh. Yes, Ochako's a fucking guy. It's been confirmed. She has a cock and balls. Yeah, she has an elephant trunk and 2 nuts. She has 2 grapes and a banana. So for all of those who think like Ochako's a girl, she's a trans. No, I can't do that because that will get canceled. But yeah, enough with the jokes. He meets Ochako basically, not meets, but she kind of bumps into him, not paying attention. And Deku, like, because he isn't like one who's like oi oi oi, is like I'm a fucking. I can't believe I just fucking said that. I wish I could cut that out, but I'm not about to go back to that fucking clip. I'm too fucking lazy and tired. So, upon like that happening, Deku basically turns around to see if it was a guy or a girl, because you know how people are. If it's a guy, like the answer is gonna be disrespectful as hell. Basically, like, hey, watch where you're fucking going, or I'm gonna drop your ass. But as soon as he sees that it's a girl, he says, "Oh, are you okay?" And like, "Are you in a rush?" And Ochako can be like, sorry, and she isn't scared, and then she sees, because how the tattoos are, like they're up to the neck kind of. She kind of sees a little bit of ink on his neck, and she's like, huh? And then she like looks at him closely, and then she looks at it like his shoulders and shit, and she sees like the little, like patch. She's like, and she gets like dead scared because she's like, I'm so fucking sorry. Almost gets to her knees and apologizes. Shit. Oh wait, I thought I had to skip forward to that. And upon that, Deku basically tells her, "Oh no, like it's not your fault. He says you don't have to apologize and do all that. Like, just be careful where you're going, okay? It could have been a lot worse. You could have actually fell and hurt yourself." And he basically helps her back to her feet and says, "You know what? How about this? How about I walk you inside?" And we get. And he says, "How about I walk you inside? We get to talk to each other more, so I can clear up this whole mishap because that wasn't the right thing to do, and it's kind of bad for a girl to, And she blushes at it, and he says, "Get your head up." And he says, "Not like that. Stop thinking like that." But as time progresses, these two talk a lot, and then we running, and I'm gonna say Ida was gonna say something. Then he realized the patch on Deku's shoulder, then he was like, "Yeah, no, I'm not fucking with that nigga with 10 football." Cause you remember how, like, as I said, Yakuza and shit used to be prominent in Japan, even with the fucking heroes around. So Ida knows a lot about the Shimada clan. So as soon as he seen that Shimada clan patch, he was like, no, fuck that. I'm not fucking with this nigga. Like, he can do whatever. He basically said he can do whatever the fuck he want. I'm not even about to touch this man. He like Fort Knox to me. Like, I ain't touching that shit with a 10-foot pole. So Ida basically doesn't fuck with Deku, and he doesn't go on to grill anyone, cause he's trying to stay out of like Deku's like eyes, basically trying to stay out of his spotlight, just so he doesn't get dropped. Cause that's what Ida's scared about is fucking dying. So, as such, oh yeah, I remember this. This shit got stupid. My aim was fucking terrible. But yeah, upon doing so, like it goes like everything runs smoothly actually, because you don't got Ida who's basically trying to like school Deku or Hanji or whatever you want to call him. Then like basically he's just chilling with Ochako basically the entire time until like the examination. Actually, no, fuck it. He actually helps her during the exam too, except for the actual fucking test, which where Deku does decent at. As I say, like he's not as smart as he was in canon, but he's still he's pretty smart. It's just the canon Deku was a bookworm, and Deku is too. But I mean, this Deku is too. But not the extent to like that Deku was. This Deku doesn't have notes on every single hero. There's a lot of training he does, so it's like he doesn't have time to write down every single hero in his books. So I had to read off for a second. So when as time goes down, it's 3, 2, 1. Go. Deku basically tells Ochako to hold his hand real quick, and then he basically puts full count into his legs and jumps up. And matter of fact, no, I'm gonna scratch that actually. Now, Deku, he then again reiterates to the staff before he does this. He said he basically had to say yes, I am Hanzo Shimada. I said Hanzo, my bad. Hanji Shimada. And these are the things I brought to the test, and All Might Genji and Hanzo basically told the school that these are needed for my quirk, and he shows the things to them and says these are not meant for any harm towards the students as much as you guys think that, because I'm a Shimada. And yes, he called them out on it because everyone's scared of him. These are for the test. And after doing that, he pulls out the bow and arrows. He pulls out the sword, and that's it. He doesn't pull out the knife because there's no point. And Ochako sees this, and she would have been scared, but she's been around Hanji a bit, so she knows he isn't bearing it with ill intent. So she's more calm, now. Did I kill 2 people with that? I think I only killed 1. Yeah, I did. I think, yeah, that's the second person. But, yeah. Because of that, I said Genji. I always say, dumb shit. Hanji basically now has both of those. And when it says 3 to 1, instead of, I was going to say Ochako hold his hand, but I'm going to change it because I hate fucking Reaper mains. They're a bane of my fucking existence. My bad, that slipped out because I still hate, because they're in that whole match. That Reaper was on me the entire game. So, but yeah. Instead of, I was gonna say hold his hand, I would say Deku tells Ochako to get on his back. And for those who watch Demon Slayer, remember the Demon Slayer scene where, Tanjiro was running through, the forest cutting the strings with his, with the water stream, basically. That's what he does to the robots with Ochako on his back. So it's kind of like a Nezuko situation on his back. And he does that cutting down the robots. So instead of him just getting the points, it's split between him and Ochako. So, so I don't know how I didn't. Oh yeah, because Widowmaker has an assault rifle too. I have a sniper rifle, but it's split between the points. And then after a while, I'm gonna say Ochako basically says like, I want to do some work too, you know, like basically telling her like, yeah, as much as fun as it is watching you do shit, I want to do some work on my own. And I'm gonna say she gets like Deku lets her off at a point and says like, okay, there's a lot of robots here, so you should be good here. I already got it. Like, you should be good. And he leaves her for a bit. So, and you know, because he's still trying to reclaim the clan's reputation, he runs around now helping like the other students. Those are trapped, those are in trouble, and you know, those who generally need help. Until the Zero Pointer shows up. Now, the Zero Pointer showed up. He was already planning on destroying it because you know, it's a big ass waste. It's a big ass thing, big ass target for, you know, the for 3 dragons, but he sees that Ochako's underneath the rubble, so now it's even more of a target. So, like, this is what he does. So, instead of, like, what he was going to do is, like, just pull the bow back regularly, he sees that Ochako's hurt, and he says, alright, there's no time to be playing around with a regular shot. So, he puts one for all into his arms. I'm gonna say 10% because, you know, it's like in canon right now. Well, besides the fact that it's a little bit earlier. And he pulls the bowstring back. Now, these bowstrings are designed to deal with All Might because they have All Might test them. And Genji, hanzo All Might test them. So, upon him using 10%, the bow automatically reacts to it and gives him that pullback with it. And when he basically says, you know, the phrase that Genji says, I said Genji, Hanzo says, and fires the bow, it's, the bow, like, if I had to explain the scene, the dragons are about 10 times larger than normal, and they basically hit the Zero Pointer and send it flying back and destroy it at the same, and basically destroying it at the same time. But now that that's happened, Deku's right arm now isn't broken or fractured, it's just like it's heavily fatigued. So it's kind of like a dead arm to him as of this moment. And he goes to pick up the rubble, like, from Ochako. And, you know, things go as canon, besides the fact that Ochako doesn't have a sprained ankle or broken ankle like I usually do. It's just like, she just was trapped under the rubble, and she thanks Deku, and the examination is over. Now, Deku basically walks over to, you know, I can never remember, Recovery Girl, yeah, that's her name. It took me a while to remember that. And he gets his arm, and basically, he knows what she does, because, you know, he's not an idiot, he still looks at heroes. He gets his arm checked out, and tells Recovery Girl that his arm isn't broken or anything, it's like, heavily fatigued, and she was wondering if he was wondering if she had anything to help with the fatigue. And she said, like, yeah, I'm gonna just, like, instead of me giving you medicine, I'm gonna just do it like this, and kisses his arm. Which heals his arm completely, and he says, thank you. And with that being said, after the exam, actually, because, yeah, I want to continue a little bit. After the exam, Ochako and him continue talking, then Genji and Hanzo basically come to pick Deku up in the car. Because they realize that, okay, it's a test, so this time we're actually going to pick him up. And they see him walking out with young Ochako. I want to see how much my phone is at, okay. Now, upon seeing this, they basically have the reaction like, oh, so he's talking to girls now. And they basically ask him, like, and they basically look, like, Genji isn't as, like, they gave, like, Genji basically had his suit more, able to like show facial expressions, and he's like he has like the the Rock look where he has his eyebrow up, and then he's like has a look of like proudness because he was like yes, so he is like yes, he isn't he isn't like homosexual basically. This person didn't do a bad job with that sniper. That's actually kind of impressive, but you know what I mean. But these two are still like brother slash father figures to him. So when they go to pick up Deku, it's the same thing like usual. Like they basically say like, "Hey, Deku, we're here to pick you up," and they ask like, "Hey, and by the way, who's the girl?" He says, "Oh, this is the girl I met at the exam. Her name's Ochako." And they basically say, "All right, Miss Ochako, we might as well give you a lift home too." And mind you, she thinks that these are just two random people because she, like Ochako, we all know Ochako. So when she gets in the car, I mean, she basically like accepts the ride because it's Deku, and no, like they don't not plan to kidnap her because it's the Shimada family. She heard they turned over a good leaf, plus Deku showing the good side of the Shimada family. So they take her home basically, and when they basically go, like pull up to her house, they meet like Ochako's dad and mom. And upon that, when Ochako gets out, they see the car, because the windows aren't tinted. They see Genji and Hanzo with Hanji in the back. Now, this scares them because it's Genji and Hanzo. Two people who used to be very deep in criminal shit, but they turned hero. But everyone constantly forgets they turned hero. So, like, they basically had the look of fear in their eyes, and Genji and Hanzo like, why the hell do they like feel like that? And they're like, oh yeah, I forgot, we did used to do that. And basically they basically walk out and say like, no need to fear, like we're not gonna do anything. Like we gave up that life a while ago, as soon as we brought this one in. And Hanji gets on, it's like, hello, I'm Hanji Shimada. I'm one of the people. I was one of the people who was with your daughter in the exam, and I helped her out and saved her, basically. And both the families exchanged greetings, and then Genji and Hanzo got straight to the point, because they're old-fashioned as hell. So like, all right, let's cut to the chase. Can Hanji have your daughter's hand in marriage or something like that? I forget which. Now, mind you, Ochako was thinking kind of on the lines of like, he isn't bad. Maybe I should get to know him better. But Genji and Hanzo were like, yeah, like this ain't like we see how this is probably gonna end up playing out, so we want to speed this up. But they believe in the whole concubine thing, so it's like a whole list of women. And I hope that's a hint drop for every fucking one who watches this shit. Like the biggest fucking hint drop I can get. And to that, I'm gonna say her parents respond with yes, because they're in fear and they didn't think it through. And the fuck happened? How the hell is my character just sitting? Why the hell is... Give me a sec. Oh, I'm a fucking idiot. That's why I joined the Discord call at that moment. But yeah, they said yes out of fear, and Ochako was looking like, what the fuck? And even Hanji was looking like, what the shit? And yeah, that's a thing now. So Hanjo and Genji say, great, and welcome to the family, Ochako Shimada. I mean, wait, Ochako or I forget which one's her first name, but they call each other by the last name, so I guess Uraraka Shimada. And basically say the ceremony will be before school, and yada yada yada. And on my time skip to that, the ceremony happens. And yeah, that's Deku. And yeah, that happened pretty fucking fast, I'm not gonna lie. it's, and before someone says it, because yes, this is pretty much the end of the episode. I didn't rush it. It's more like, if you think about it logically, like, yes, it's the same thing that happened old school Japan. You can even pull it up. They did used to do that a lot. And this family is still old fashioned, but they're getting more and more used to the new way of doing things. But you gotta remember, once you're like, these two are still very old fashioned, and Deku's still old fashioned in a way, but they're like, they kept up with the times basically. They're old fashioned, but they basically think of old fashioned, but keeping up with the times when it comes to Japan. So they're pretty up there when it comes to everything. They just, still believe in the whole concubine thing, even though Genji and Hanzo don't have wives, which, it's kind of hip, like, how do I say it? I can't, I can't say that long ass word right now. But you know what I'm trying to get at, right? So, yeah, like, that's why it went so fast, because they were like, yeah, as much as, like, we like to see this relationship blossom slowly, we, like, how our family, like, they didn't pull the, how our family is card. It's more like, they used that little small, like, fear to their advantage, because they know, like, they're schemers, like, they scheme a lot, too. Even though they're not evil, they're still pretty damn smart. And they're like, you know what, let's use this to our advantage, actually. And got the job, and basically discussed it and got it done. Now, know what people are thinking, oh, that's wrong, they should have done that. But, you gotta remember, these two are heroes, but not every hero is good. I mean, not every hero hasn't done a little bit of bad in their lives. Like, even, like, you can say, like, All Might. All Might thought he killed All for One. Mind you, as a hero, you're not supposed to kill anyone. So, see? Prime example there. So, yeah, I'm going to end it here. Thank you for viewing. This was basically, this was Overwatch, yeah. Like, hopefully, like, if you liked the way I'm doing things, let me know. If not, I'll go back to the old way of doing things, which is, like, just sitting here and talking. But I wanted to introduce a new way because I figured it would be more, like, it won't draw in more people. It's just, like, it'll keep people busy while I'm watching my what ifs, whether they want to watch it or they just want to listen. But, yeah, thank you for stopping by, and I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
I'm afraid Jiraiya boy has died in battle.
Huh? Like the Atlantic and